I think it's an essential underpinning for the master's thesis, and creates that opportunity to consider in advance of the focus of the master's dissertation how you might like to go about it. So I think it's very important. It raises an awareness of alternative ways in which you can conduct a piece of research. And at the end of this particular module, you should be in a position to focus on the reality of your own chosen dissertation topic, and you should be able to identify how you will do the dissertation, which research methods, which sources of information you will draw on in order to write the dissertation. It much depends on the topic and your interest, the area of focus. Students in the past have gone both for very quantitative research topics and also qualitative. Although, if I was to judge over the years that I've taught this module, the majority of students will look at qualitative research methods and will look at potentials areas such as small-scale survey and a limited number of semi-structured research interviews. That tends to be the most popular way of conducting the research. I don't think the research methods module in itself is different. Both at undergraduate and at master's level, it's about introducing you to a menu. Here's a menu of ways in which you conduct research. So I don't see the module as any more difficult at postgraduate level than undergraduate level. The difficulty arises in relation to the dissertation versus an undergraduate project. So it's really the next stage which is the more demanding and is pitched at a postgraduate level, not this particular module in itself. It's about enabling you to conduct a piece of research. It need not necessarily be for a dissertation. I mean that's the benefit, that in life, in work, many of our decisions have to be evidence-based. So what we're doing in this module is introducing you to ways of gathering evidence. Clearly in the short term, that evidence approach will be used for the purposes of a dissertation. But in your subsequent career, it will be used to prepare management reports, to investigate topics for yourself. It's a life skill. Two things I think are important. One is that the topic is of interest to you as an individual. It stimulates you. You want to find out more about it. The second element is access to information. Sometimes students come up with a great idea that they're very interested in, but there is insufficient data available for them to gather and to interpret. So you've got to think about that. Does it interest me? Is there information out there that I can access? And that takes into account things like the ability to interview people, access to people in organisations. Mm-hmm. So those two are the key factors. My advice is that to make sure that the time limits are achieved. I've been doing this job for 35 years, and students continuously schedule inappropriately. So you've got to think about it. If you're disciplined from start to finish, if you have a project plan and you meet the milestones, you will deliver the dissertation on time. That's my advice. Create a plan and stick to it. Far too many students leave data collection until it's almost too late, and then the dissertation is rushed and the quality suffers as a consequence. What I like to see, and this is a personal view, is that the student goes beyond what they have been taught. That there is clearly an activity which the student seeks to develop their knowledge beyond the lecture situation, so that the student doesn't just give back to the academic member of staff what the academic member of staff has given them. And also what I like to see, particularly in business and management, I like to see a contemporary sensitivity, that this topic is alive. You know, things are happening today in the business and management world, and that dissertation should ensure that the student is up to date, and it will help the student when it comes to the development of their career, you know, to be selected for interview, to be able to talk about contemporary issues.